What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with a transfer update video. And let me just say, people, playtime is over. Berta's in the building. It's time to clean up the house, people. Jorginho has left Arsenal at the end of this season. He will sign for Brazilian side Flamengo on a 3-year deal, and his contract will not be extended at Arsenal. And personally, in my opinion, this is the right decision to make. So let's break it all down. Let's break it down. And interestingly enough, 2 weeks ago, there was a story coming out that Jorginho would potentially get a 1-year contract extension while he did his coaching badges at the club in order for him to go into coaching. And I'm thinking, here we go again. El Neni Part 2, jobs for the boys, and he gets an extension on his contract because the manager obviously gets on well with him. However, the news is broke tonight. We've heard this news for a little while. That he could potentially be going to Flamengo. He wants to go back to Brazil. Obviously, he's Brazilian born, even though he played for Italy, and it looks as if that has been confirmed. So Fabrizio Romano has tweeted regarding the news, Jorginho set to join Flamengo on a free transfer. Here we go. Plan has been confirmed since January, and the deal is set to be sealed for the midfielder who's leaving Arsenal in June. 3-year deal until 2028 at Flamengo has been verbally agreed. And listen, good luck to him in his future. He's 33 years of age. To get a 3-year contract at this stage in your career is a fantastic deal. Let's go back to the beginning before we end up where we're currently at. Jorginho signed for the club 22-23 season in January, £12.5 million. Overall, I'll be honest, when we signed Jorginho, I was furious. And the reason is we spent all that January trying to sign Caicedo. And for me, Caicedo is a top quality midfielder. And to sign Caicedo and buy Jorginho, I mean, that's like going in the Lamborghini garage and coming out of a scooter. It's not quite what we expected when somebody said, I'm going to get some new wheels. Listen, he's a decent player. He's not a player that you're going to look at and say he was terrible at Arsenal. It's exactly what it says on the tin. He'll keep the ball. He's a good leader. I've seen on the tours that he's a big character in the dressing room, and Arteta has had a lot of respect for him. People have to remember that Pep wanted to sign Jorginho from Napoli when Arteta was one of the coaches. And obviously, he went with Sarri, his manager at the time at Napoli, to Chelsea. So Arteta's obviously, it's a player. Look, if you play a possession-based style, Jorginho is a player that you're going to appreciate because everything can go through him. He keeps the ball. He's very good. I think the problem with Arsenal, we've got him at the back end of his career. He's not the player he was at Napoli and Chelsea, and he's fading. My concern was Arsenal giving him another contract when clearly his time is up at Arsenal. Listen, he's had some good performances, that goal against Aston Villa, and so on and so forth. He's in his 3rd season at the club. So far, in the Premier League, he's made 42 appearances in 2.5 seasons. He turns 34 in December. He's on 120 grand a week. I mean, listen, again, with Arsenal, something I never understand is why we let so many players leave this club on a free. Surely, and listen, I'm not saying we can get big money for Jorginho, but Flamengo are giving him a 3-year contract at the age of 33. He turns 34 in December. Surely you could pick up 6 million for him, 5 million for him. Why do Arsenal not make decisions when these players have 1 year left on their contract and say, look, it's got a year left, we're not going to extend, let's get rid of him, earn a few million quid and balance the books a little bit. You look at Aubameyang, Ozil, Ramsey, Lacazette, Kolasinac, Mustafi, Socrates. Obviously now with Jorginho, Partey, it could potentially happen. Now, I'm not saying they're all top players, but you've got to be picking up 5 million, 10 million for some of these players sometimes if you're going to balance the books. And I think this is a big part of the reason that Berta has been brought to this club, because this club at times seems to have an inability of making money on a player. I don't see why Jorginho should be leaving the club for free when Chelsea got 12.5 million out of us with 6 months left on his contract. Now, I know he's a few years older, but I think that principle has to change moving forward. Listen, in terms of Jorginho, he's a good player. He has been a good player, but it's a role that we need to upgrade in that position, whether that's Zubamendi, who it looks like it might be him. And we need to clear the wage bill. This isn't just about getting players out of the door for money in terms of transfer fees. We need wages off the books. 120 grand a week, Jorginho, is going to help to balance those books. So listen, for me, Berta, get to work, my friend. Playtime is over. It's time to get serious. These guys who've hung around the club for too long, they need moving on. If they're not going to help us win a title, they need to be moved on. I have nothing against Jorginho. I think he's a solid player. I just think we got him at the wrong point in his career. He was past his best. Another Chelsea player that was on his way downhill in terms of their football career. And again, we enabled them to clear their wage bill. So I hope these kind of signings no longer happen at Arsenal. And this isn't aimed directly at Jorginho, but you know, if you look at David Luiz, you look at Jorginho, you look at Havertz, Peter Cech, Benayoun, Gallas. We've been to Chelsea too many times and bought players that they're willing to get rid of, put them on massive wages, and then probably made no money when they left. I mean, we didn't get anything for David Luiz. We got nothing for Petr Cech. You know, it's a system that has to change at this football club moving forward. So listen, shout out to Berta. Hopefully this is just the start. We know that there's some other players that need to be moved on moving forward as well if we want to balance the books. People, let me know what you guys think. Would you have given him a new contract? You know, I have had conversations with people where they said they'd have given him another year. He's a good character in the dressing room. For me, I mean, I would have got rid of him last season. So for me, it's a year too late, but better late than never, people. So I think we need to bring in players that are more on the upward trajectory of their career than players that are, you know, falling down the ladder. Big up to everyone locked in. Breaking news: Jorginho will leave Arsenal Football Club this summer. After 3 seasons at the club, he will join Flamengo on a 3-year deal. Good news. Andrea Berta, get to work, sort out this squad, sort out these problems. Hit the like button and subscribe. See you all soon, people. Bless.